A wife is someone like their mother.
So lots of couples are living together, cohabitating before they decide to get married. So let's talk about the expectation on a marriage. If a couple essentially lives together as a couple, as a married couple, before actually becoming a married couple.
What I found in my practice is quite often the couple who has cohabitated make an assumption that the marriage is going to be exactly the same, at least one of them. Then the other person, once they say, I do, then they start thinking in terms of marriage similar to what they experience looking at their parents. And all of a sudden, the person who assumed, oh, we got this right while we were cohabitating, they are thrown off. It's like, what do you mean that the woman's place is at home on Friday night instead of going out to the club like we did before as a couple? Or what does it mean that the wife's responsibility is to cook and to clean and take care of the children? When we cohabitated, we shared those responsibilities.
I think the biggest issue here is there's a huge assumption made. There's like a blind assumption made whether they're cohabitating and they're getting into a marriage. Most of the clients I work with, when they come together and they're talking about their relationship, they have never taken the time to really look at it as a partnership. And if they're not doing that, then they haven't laid the foundation for even understanding what their expectations are. And the conversations you're having happen because people make an assumption and they base it on the lineage, their family, and they never sit down and go, these are my needs, my wants, and my desires. And I want to know what yours are, and let's see if we really have the potential here to meet those needs, wants, and desires with each other. There is a value in listing those things out and having a conversation about them. We get into the most important relationships in our lives, and we don't have a partnership agreement. Why do we do it in business and not in our personal lives?
I also see it in the area of sexuality, that people have what I call psychic sex. They think that is what you think the other person is supposed to know what you want.
Okay.
So people
People have psychic lives. Entire lives.
Exactly. Psychic relationships. It's like, this is what I think you're going to be like. And even if they don't rationally think it, that may be buried, where when there's the switch, that's the marriage or something else, then it comes up and then they go, oh, well, that's what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
And I'm finding couples that are living together really waking up to these role expectations that you all are talking about and saying, we don't know anymore. We don't want a traditional marriage. We want a partnership. It's what we have now. And we don't want to go the way of the divorce statistic. And so they're coming in droves. I cannot believe how many couples come to me, young couples, who basically just want to dot the I's and cross the T's and have those important conversations. So I feel very encouraged.
So the question I don't understand is that if you've lived together for 4 or 5 years, a lot of the chemical reaction that's going on in your brain has sort of started to dissipate, right? So now you really kind of know somebody and you're in that relationship with them. So why do these things change? Like, why does the woman who, didn't want to be the little woman all of a sudden get a ring on her finger and now she wants to be the little woman, right? Or roles of the same nature for a guy. Like, why does it change when all of a sudden there's going to be a paper signed and a name change?
Well, that's where the expectations come from, because you have, and I've heard especially men say more often than women, their expectation of a girlfriend is totally different than the expectation of a wife. A wife is someone like their mother, who cooks and cleans and take care of them and have the children and just make life wonderful and perfect. The girlfriend is the fun person. And so when they say I do, I take you as my wife, switch.
So what's happening there is they're not really marrying that person. They're marrying their perception. They're marrying they're believing the belief system that's not theirs, right? And I think that's where many relationships just go wrong from the very beginning, because they don't really see the person they're in a relationship with.
That's very true.
They just don't.
But even if they don't have particular role expectations, and so they're living together and they're going to get married on June 4th. On June 3rd, they are who they are. On June 5th, they are who they are. Even if they don't make any shift in their own thinking, society, culture, family, friends, they have expectations of how this couple is supposed to act different.
So this issue of cohabitation isn't going away, whether it's for economic reasons or it's because, it's just what we want to do and we're more comfortable there. Sounds like for couples to have more success cohabitating and moving into marriage, we need to help them get a sense of what their expectations are, teach them how to talk about it, so they have a dialogue between the two of them, get some help if we need it from a professional, and couples have a chance.